So now we are going to understand a very important function, that is how to read a CSV file in Pandas. So guys, most of the times whenever you are going to deal with external data, you will be reading the CSV or the Excel file or the JSON file, and you should be knowing how you can access those external files using the simple functions in Pandas. So you can make use of the read underscore CSV function in the Pandas to read a CSV file, and this we are going to check with the help of examples as well. We will also analyze the columns and the data by using the info and the describe functions. So guys, let us understand this with the help of examples in VS Code over here. Simply I'm going to create a new file in this case, and then we will say read csv.python file over here. Now guys, after this the very first statement is importing pandas as pd. So this is the statement that we had provided, and then within the same directory I have provided a data folder over here, and then inside this we have the two files. As you can see, we have the data.csv file and the data.json file as well. So first of all we will read the content of the data.csv file in this case. So what we have to do is we will define the df variable, that is data frame. It is equal to pd followed by dot, and this time since we are having the data inside the external file over here, instead of providing the data frame class, we will make use of the read underscore csv function. So as you can see, there are multiple functions over here. We have the read clipboard, we have read csv, read excel, read feather, and so on. There are multiple formats of the data that you can read by using the pandas library. So guys, over here we will make use of the read csv function this time, which is going to take the parameter, that is the path of this particular file. So within the single or the double quote, I will provide the data folder. Since the CSV file is present within this particular data folder, we are present inside this pandas folder right now, and inside the data folder we have the data.csv file. So guys, over here data followed by / and then we have data.csv, that is the name of the file over here. So based on the location of the file in your directory, you can provide the directory path along with the file name over here, and the entire data will be read by pandas inside this data frame variable. And then guys, simply we can print this data frame, that is df over here. So let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal. So after running this code, as you can see, we are getting this data over here on the terminal. We are able to see the top 5 rows. As you can see, we have the duration, pulse, max pulse, and the calories as the columns within this particular CSV file, and then we have the top 5 rows that are getting displayed, and then also we have the bottom 5 rows that are getting displayed over here. So guys, this is the functionality of pandas in order to read the CSV file and also to display the data frame. By default, there will be somewhere around 60 rows that can be displayed at a time over here, which you can control by using a specific property in this case. So as you can see, we have this max rows property that can help you in order to increase the number of rows that can be displayed. So since we have the 169 rows over here, simply let us see what is the maximum rows that can be displayed within pandas for this specific system. So we have pd followed by dot, and then we have the options followed by dot, and then we have display followed by the max row property over here. So as you can see, this is the max rows property that will help us to understand what is the maximum number of rows that can be displayed at a time. So it is 60 rows at a time. So guys, if our data set is having the number of rows within 60, then entire data frame can be displayed at once. But since we are having this particular CSV file right now, which is having 169 rows, that is 170 rows including the header of the file, then we have to update this max rows over here. So let me just cut this and paste this over here, and then we will assign another number, that is 200 this time. And now if we try to provide the df, that is the data frame, then the entire file will be displayed within the terminal. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, now you will be able to see all the rows of the CSV file that is already read by the pandas library within the data frame. So guys, in this way you can play around with this particular max rows property, but most of the times this particular property is not required to be updated. So we will be using the other functions in order to only see the part of the data frame that we are going to work with. So when we save this file now, by default we will be able to see the top 5 and the bottom 5 rows over here. Now guys, apart from this particular data frame is not telling us much about the type of data that is present, apart from the column names that we have and the data type of the values that are present within these columns. So guys, we have the other two functions that we can use, which is info and the describe functions. So guys, let us understand what is the data that we can get by using the info function over here. So simply we provide data frame followed by dot, and then we have the info function over here. Let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So we get certain kind of information about this particular data frame that we have already read by using the CSV file. So we have the range index, it is equal to 169 entries, which is going from 0 up to 168, which means there are total 169 rows within this particular CSV file, and we have total data columns, that is 4 columns over here. So what are those 4 columns? We have duration, we have pulse, we have max pulse, and then we have the calories. Also we will be able to see within each column how many values are null values. So guys, over here we have out of 169 entries, all the 169 entries are non-null values, which means there are no null values in this case. For the pulse column as well and the max pulse columns as well, there are no null values. But inside the calories columns, we have 164 non-null values, which means the remaining 5 values are null values over here. So if we try to access the file and see what are the 5 columns, you will be able to see that some of the rows are not having the calories values. So as you can see, we have the 143rd row within this particular CSV file that is not having calories, and then we have over here once again this one is also not having the calories value, and so on. You will be able to find the other rows as well which is not having the calories values. So total 5 rows are not having the calories values over here, and then apart from this we are also getting the data type for each and every column in this case. So we have 1 column with the float data type and 3 columns with the integer data type, and also we have the memory usage as 5.4 KB for this particular data frame over here. So guys, these are certain information as far as the columns of the CSV file is concerned, and also we are getting the number of null values that are present within this particular file by using the info function over here. Apart from this, we also have something called as describe function in this case. Let me just provide the comment for this info function, and then we will provide the describe function over here. So when we run this code once again over here on the terminal, so as you can see, we are getting this kind of information by using the describe function. So guys, over here all the columns are listed, that is duration, pulse, max pulse, and the calories, and we are getting the count of the values that are present within these columns. We are also getting the mean as well for each and individual column over here, which is nothing but the average. And then apart from this, we are getting the standard deviation, then we have the minimum number, 25, 50, and then 75 percentile over here. And then apart from this, we are also getting the maximum values within all these columns over here. So guys, this highlights some of the important function within the CSV file that we are dealing with. So you can also make use of the describe function in order to quickly check these stats related to the CSV file that we are dealing with. So this is a very simple way in order to read the CSV file within the directory that is present based on your local machine. So please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video, in which we are going to learn how to read the JSON file in Pandas. So stay tuned.